I've never sailed an ocean before. I haven't even done much solo sailing. It is a slight worry at times.
He'll have self-doubt.
I don't think normal people like me, average family man, just turned 50, do things like this.
He'll have fear.
I wake up and I just feel, what am I doing?
I thought he was mad, to be honest. I thought, no, you're not going to do this.
It's a race, so you're trying to be the first one home.
I'm not those people that can sail across the Atlantic single-handed or do these sort of events.
It's not uncommon for someone to do the qualifier and say, I'm not going now, it's too scary.
You could easily slip and cut yourself, or you could easily knock your head, or you could just become unwell.
It's like building a sculpture, it's like a work of art, because you create something from nothing.
I spent so many hours on it, and sometimes I think, what have I been doing for the last month? It doesn't really look any different to it did a month ago. I'm just going to give up, this is too much. I don't need all this pressure.
It's all an incredible adventure because it has an unknown outcome.
There's a part of me in my mind that thinks, I think I can do this, and other times I think, no, I'm going to struggle. I might not be able to do it at all. I'm Keith Oliver, and I'm building a Globe 580.
The concept is very simple. It's the most basic form of building a plywood boat, 19 feet long, 5.8 metres in length, and we'll race across the Atlantic. And they'll sail from Lanzarote across to Antigua. That's about 3,000 miles. There's no reason not to do this in a life-defining moment.
I started sailing when I was 5 or 6 in an Optimist. I then helped my dad build a boat in our garage at home, which was a wooden boat, similar sort of concept, kit form. I enjoyed helping him build it, and I certainly remember the build-up after spending months and months building it, the excitement of when we finally took it to Frensham Pond to launch it and sail it for the first time was a great feeling. Then in my early 20s, moved on to sailing small yachts. And I'd been out with friends on lots of boats, and lots of other sailing on boats, sort of 30, 35 foot upwards. Going back to something 1930 is going to seem pretty small, definitely. And certainly to sail it across the Atlantic is going to seem pretty small. When the kit was delivered, all the sheets are numbered from 1 to 25. So I just decided to keep sheet number 1, and all those numbers relate to the drawings on the plan down here to help identify the bits and pieces. This came about through a friend of mine. He just out of the blue sent me a text one day saying, have you seen this? These guys have just literally just set off to cross the Atlantic in boats they built at home.
After I'd sent Keith the link, I met Keith for a beer in the Shore Inn, our local pub, and I nearly fell off my chair when Keith said, I've ordered one. I said, what have you ordered? He said, I've ordered the kit to make a 580, I'm going to do it.
I remember seeing an interview or reading somewhere about from Dom, the guy behind the class, and I remember him saying, if you really want to do it, just buy the plans and start building. If you haven't got the money, you'll find the money. If it's something you really want to do, you'll make it happen. It just hooked me. The more and more I looked into it, the more and more, and I had a feeling of excitement that I hadn't had since I was a child, probably, and that just sort of stuck with me, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to give this a go if I can.
I thought he was mad, to be honest. I thought, no, you're not going to do this.
Keith sold it to me as a nice 2-week all-inclusive holiday to Antigua next Christmas. But it still doesn't feel like it's actually happening. Desperate to do it, so, you know, and he's more than capable, I'm sure. And he loves the project.
The more and more looked at other people's blogs and how they were getting on with their builds, I thought, if I'm going to do this, then I've got to just do it. I ordered the plans arrived. I ordered the plans in early January, I think it was. And I spent a week or so looking at the plans every evening. And then I just thought, yeah, decided to go ahead and order the kit for the boat. The kit turns up, yeah, that's when the reality sort of hit, and I thought, I've got to turn all of these bits of wood into a boat.
Where's your boat? Where's your boat? Is it all built? Doesn't look like a yacht to me yet.
I couldn't wait to get started, to be honest. I've done plenty of DIY and stuff, but I'm no carpenter. I've got no experience of building a boat of any size. There was a sense of, how on earth is this, how on earth am I going to turn this lot into a boat?
The only thing that does worry me slightly is that he never finishes anything 100%, so that is a slight concern. Let's hope that he does build it to the exact spec that it has to be.
We're now down in the boat tent, as I call it. It's just like a temporary workshop. So I've completed building the hull. You build it upside down on a series of frames, and I'm probably 2/3 of the way through fiberglassing it. It took me a full day with 5 of us to do the 2 layers so far, so it's quite a big job. But yeah, pleased with it so far. This is currently the rudder that I'm working on. So this is made of 4 sheets of ply that I've had to laminate together, and I've now got to profile it in this shape here, so it's got a leading edge and a trailing edge. I've not been keeping record of how many hours I've spent doing it, but they say on average it takes around about 550 hours to build the boat from start to finish. So yeah, I would say I'm probably halfway in.
I think it's really important that Keith's doing something for himself, because he does so much. We both just do so much for Isabel with the horses and everything, and everything that she's done in her life has only really been driven by us. So it's really important for him to have something for himself.
There is definitely a sense of energy, definitely the start of a new year, a year where I'm hopefully going to sail across the Atlantic. So yeah, there was a real sense of, come on, let's go up a gear almost and start to push on. For the last 9-10 months, probably been getting it to this phase. Big day today, we're hopefully turning the boat over. So finished the fiberglassing, haven't completely finished the fairing. It just physically isn't enough room. I've been up on top of it, and there's just not enough room, certainly in the middle there, for me to be on top of the boat and sand it down properly.
Right, how are we going to do this?
But I'm repurposing the wood from the jig.
I think it's admirable.
It's his fault, not
It is, yeah. I introduced him to it. The biggest challenge he's got is getting the boat ready, getting it in the water and getting some water time on it before the start in November, December.
I do sometimes, well, not sometimes, always thinking about, it does sort of consume you, always thinking about sort of the next step of the build. And yeah, there also is an element of, you want to make sure that every bit is done the best you can do it. Because yeah, at some point in a year or so's time, I will be sat there in the middle of the Atlantic, and you want to have that feeling in the back of your mind that you've done everything and built the boat the best you can, without a doubt. I did have some issues. The tent started leaking, all the lights were tripping out, there was water everywhere. So, and then at Christmas, I decided to have a couple of weeks off, not doing anything on the boat. I probably would have come out every day, but I think Kylie was quite keen for me to have a bit of family time, so I didn't really do much over Christmas.
He spends as much time as he can on the project. It's a little bit annoying, it does take up a lot of time, and he does, forget that occasionally and drop the ball a bit. Yeah, no, I'm pleased. I'm pleased he's doing it. Come
January, I was like raring to go. But the weather's not been great. I've had a good few cold spells. It's been too cold to do any fiberglassing or fillering. So yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit behind where I'd like to be. But hence that's one of the reasons why I've decided to turn it over, because there'll be lots and lots that I can just crack on with that won't really be weather dependent. Yeah, we're going to try and lift this side up a bit. So do you want people on this side? No, just everyone on this side really. Well, it might collapse. Yeah, the risk is it collapses. Yeah. We could try and walk these corners out. Hang on, because it is going to...
We might rip. Putting it back down now.
We'll need a couple of people the other side.
Yeah, I'll go around the other side.
4 minute day's work. I've always dreamt of sailing an ocean. I've never sailed an ocean before. It's one of those things, until you actually give it a go, who knows how you're going to get on in those circumstances, those conditions that you might be faced with. I haven't even done much solo sailing. Again, that's another thing that will be new to me, but it is a slight worry at times.
Is this your capsize drill, Keith?
Yeah. The boat probably weighs somewhere between 300 and 400 kilograms, I would say, at the moment. So yeah, it's significantly heavy. The biggest concern is if something was to, happen and a strap slip or the frame not be up to it, because it's not just the cost of it. I've put hours and hours and hours of work in to get the boat to this stage. Fingers crossed and hope that it all goes to plan.
If the angles work okay, all this lot is all shear, isn't it?
You have to have both.
So basically, this will sit across the back here.
Yeah.
That smaller one further forward, ratchet it up, only needs to come up about a few inches higher, then it will spin within the straps.
That's the plan, yeah.
You want to do it the other way around, mate?
Yeah, but if you go down there, so that's...
But then this will be a slight challenge, won't it?
I'm just going to hold the hand here.
Can't have that dropping on the boat.
Just put it down, just let it rest, okay? Hold.
Happy so far?
I will be when it's done.
It goes. You're not going to stop it.
Give me a sense of confidence level, guys.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'll give it a 9.5. Just covers all bases, just in case. It's how do we control the rotation?
I don't think it will rotate on its own. I think we'll have to.
Yeah, that's what
So,
I mean.
and
Yeah, but at some point, danger is a big heavy thing suddenly goes over a centre of balance and then just whips round. It takes everything with it.
So basically, we've got to try and square up this frickin' wonky one, haven't we? This is the one I'm not sure about. I think we'll need some people at the front rather than at the bow. Sorry, at the bow rather than at the stern here with the twisting. I'm not 100% confident in that bloody.
Why?
You need a tiny bit more, isn't it? This one here is hitting.
Yeah, this bolt is really bending here, by the way.
What bolt?
The straps got caught, they said, Keith.
It's almost at its limit.
What's the issue? That's
Yeah.
It's at, I mean, they're both almost at the limits.
Let's just give it a whirl.
Yeah, we're doing it.
It's going.
Going.
It's going. Yeah, my fingers are going to get...
Yep.
Load over. Careful.
Right, why? Right, don't pull that.
It's going to end up fouling your hull. It's not wanting to twist. But I think we need to try and lift this.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Hey! Oh, this looks like a boat.
It does.
Very impressive.
Who knew? Big day, yeah. Big day, and it's going really well.
Great, Keith.
And it actually looks like a boat when you turn it over, so that's good news.
We're going to lower the bow now. Now the boat's turned over, I can really crack on with fitting out the inside. You can start to see it really take shape now, so it's going to be quite rewarding, I think, this phase of it, because you can really see the progress, really feel it start to feel and look like a boat. I'm hoping by, say, April time, I'll be ready to take the boat out the garden on a trailer and take it to a barn for sort of 6 weeks, finish doing what I need to do, and then that'll be it, hopefully, ready to go.
Oh wow, that's good.
Is your bunk here, is it?
Yeah, there's a bunk in.
Have you tried laying on that? How long is it?
That is 2 metres.
All right, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm only 1.8.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go far to make my cup of tea in the morning.
No.
And they'll-
Oh, I thought it was the loo as well.
It's not a blooming luxury cruiser, is it? One thing that I did really grasp when I turned it up this way is probably it's smaller than it appeared when it was up the other way. Yeah, it's definitely a compact. Sometimes when I'm down here working of an evening, I might finish doing what I'm doing and just sit on the bunk there for 5 minutes and think, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in here. You know, there's there's not a lot of room. Today, going to pour the lead to make 1/2 of the bowl for the bottom of the keel. Unfortunately, the first time I done it, when I weighed the lead half that I had, it only weighed 60 kilograms, and it should be 65. The lead keel stabilises the boat. If you were to get knocked over, it's the counterbalance of the weight of the keel that brings the boat upright again. So the weight of it is pretty critical, so it needs to be right.
How many kilograms is it?
60, that is.
60, yeah.
And it needs to be 65. I've made the mould for it, and I've made a little contraption to melt the lead in. Never done anything like this before, obviously. Beauty of YouTube, just looked at some other people doing similar things.
The only thing at the moment is if it suddenly drops, we're going to get covered in.
Yeah, I don't think it'll splash out.
You don't? Well, let's try this.
Been lucky up to now. I've managed to source enough lead to do that one half. I haven't had to pay for any as yet. I've been given some by friends, family. People who speak to you just say, oh yeah, I've got a bit of lead you can have. So yeah, no, it's been great. It's been really good.
I'll come back in about 3 hours. That's going to take forever to melt.
It's melting properly now. I'll just leave it for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going now, isn't it? If I think it's doing all right, I'll turn it off for a few minutes. Oh no, that's the end of that.
Oh dear.
£2.99 from Price Busters. It's like watching the Titanic go down. Yeah, just getting all the impurities off the top, just so it's nice and pure lead and there's no dirt and horrible bits in there. I'll just heat the top of that for a couple of minutes. Yep. And then we'll go. Wow.
Oh, well, there you go.
Cool. Well, hopefully that'll be all right. So it's Saturday evening, about 5:30, and I've just come out to do a couple of hours work before I go outside to eat. This is the new 580 Transat website that launched a few weeks ago, which is quite exciting. The problem is it's got a countdown to the number of days to the start of the race, which is how long I've got to get the boat built and get there, which is currently 218 days. So, because although it seems like a long time, I know 218 days isn't really that long, is it? I've been building the boat for a year and it's still at the state it's at the moment, which I thought a year ago I'd be probably almost getting ready to launch it by now. So it just shows how time can run away with you. I said to Carl the other day, I said, I don't think normal people like me, just an average bloody family man, just turned 50, do things like this, but you got to give it a go, haven't you? That's the thing. Hopefully it's going to stop soon. I've now started setting myself some targets really. I'd like to have the deck on and most of the inside done by the end of April. I'd then like to have the deck and the cockpit all fiberglass and so on by the end of May, and probably around about the end of May is when I look to take the boat out of the tent and into the barn. Ideally I'd like to launch by end of July. That gives me all of August, all of September and a few weeks in October to sail, sort out any little niggly issues that I might find and just get used to the boat. I think there's still a lot to do to get to there, but if that slips by a few weeks and it's more mid-August, then that's still all right. Well, today I'm starting to put the beams across that support the deck, which hopefully should go fairly quickly. Some of the bits I've been doing up to now have been taking quite a bit longer than I thought they might have, and you don't see a huge amount of progress, but I think, a couple of days doing this and hopefully the deck will be on and it will look completely different, so it's coming along. It's hard going, you really have to push yourself to come down and do some work. And some people spend years and years building boats. I guess I'm trying to build it in 18 months, isn't it, I guess? as it's getting closer and becoming more of a reality, I'm starting to feel a bit of pressure, that's for sure. But yeah, it's starting to get real, as they say. I wouldn't say sleepless nights, but I do go to bed thinking about it sometimes, that's for sure. I suppose, because obviously one of these will be my bunk for the night, so plenty of room. Won't have to go far when I wake up in the morning to make a cup of tea, so all nice and cosy. Yeah, I guess the sleep side of it is the biggest concern, isn't it? Really, I don't know how I'll get on with that.
A couple of things have happened recently, and I've said to him, you know, does that worry you? Because there's a big race going on at the moment, and boats have sunk, and people have been injured and been rescued and all sorts. And I think the reality of that is kind of kicking in a bit now.
I think one thing that I didn't really anticipate, well, probably two things. One, the amount of time I would spend building the boat. Because when I first said to Carly that I wanted to do this, which was well over a year ago now, she was completely behind it, and yeah, we both knew it would be sort of 3 months away from home from when I leave to when I come back to do the actual sailing part of it. But in reality, I didn't really think about how much time I would have to put in to build the boat. Also, apart from building the boat, I had to spend a lot of time researching and looking into buying all the bits you need to go with it, and that's what's really taken up a lot of time. I got pretty much focused on that in a big way. It's very easy to just get completely sort of blinkered to anything else, and I was just almost like tunnel vision on the boat.
It's a slightly bigger project than I think I ever really anticipated, but he wants to do it. He's having a midlife crisis. I think he should call the boat that, but he doesn't want to.
Some mornings I've woken up and thought, I'm spending too much time, and also financially it's a big commitment, and I'm thinking, should I have done this? Should I have gone down this route? And certainly from a financial point of view as well, I probably decided to do this 18 months ago, and you know, that was before inflation went mad, everything's gone up, interest rates and all that, so yeah, that's certainly a concern, but you know, you're almost committed by that point. What can I do? I'm going to get out of here now, come round. Right, let's make a brew. The most challenging part? I probably thought fiberglass in the hull was probably the most daunting part, having never done any fiberglass work before. Whereas there's been some technically quite challenging bits woodwork-wise, but you've got time to sort of research how other people have done it, look into it and take your time doing it. Whereas when I fiberglassed the hull, there, you know, felt like quite a bit of pressure that day because you want to try and get it all done in one day. 1, 2, 3. Right. Moving the boat out of the garden was a big thing. It was a bit of a worry, obviously, seeing the boat lifted up in the air and dropped onto a trailer. But the guy who done a fantastic job. Next time I see her on a trailer, they'll hopefully be heading to the harbour to launch her. We're heading down to a barn at the stables in West Wittering, where the boat is going to be for the final part of the build and fit out. It feels really good, actually, really good. There was times when, you know, you just get a bit bogged down and you think, oh, I'm never going to make any progress. But no, seeing it now like that, it does feel good. Oh wow, this is amazing. This is brilliant. It's going to be so good working in here. Spent so many hours, blood, sweat and tears sort of getting to this stage. It's really good to have that space and extra room. We're going to try and do that a bit with it. Did he want to do, I think he said? Lovely. Done a fantastic job, really pleased. Thanks a lot. Spent so many hours on it, and sometimes I think, what have I been doing for the last month? It doesn't really look any different to it did a month ago. Yeah, sometimes things will take a lot longer than you anticipate. Like initially, when I first started building it 16 months ago or whatever it was, I thought I'd be done by now and have it in the water by May, June time. But what can you do? It's getting closer each day, but still a lot to do. So I'm at the stage now, I've got to really, as much as I want to try and get it finished, I've got to put the hours in to make it look nice now. I don't want it looking all rough and horrible. So yeah, it's going to need 3, maybe 4 goes of filling, rubbing down, 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 filling, rubbing down. It's dirty, dusty. Just need to get my head down for the next 2 or 3 weeks and get this sanding done and dusted and get it painted. Since I started building the boat, I've had a few moments. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning or, think, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? I definitely have some apprehensions about the overall, mainly financial really. I think as time's moving on, the sort of pot of money that I had to build the boat and complete it is dwindling, and yeah, there's still lots of things to buy, lots to do. So I think that's my biggest worry at the moment, not so much the building it. One thing that certainly that I never realised was how hard the building it was going to be, and the time commitment there. The time spent building it has been a huge time commitment for me. That's been harder than I thought it would be. Oh, I've missed a bit, haven't I? You're right.
You have.
Oh well.
It's funny because I do think, Dad built a boat, Keith's now building a boat.
It's quite mad to think, isn't it, that back then, all those years ago, now here you are, helping me do this to sail across the Atlantic.
Yeah. I'm Caroline, Keith's sister. He said, I'm thinking of building a boat and sailing the Atlantic. Yeah, I was like, okay. Is it going to have a toilet? I think was one of my first questions. No. Okay. Do you really want to do this? Yeah. I just thought you are a bit mad, but you've always done crazy things since you were little. So he's always had this desire to kind of go fast, do things. Oh, don't worry about it. Nothing bad's going to happen kind of mentality. But also you can do it nicely.
You can do it, yeah, you can.
It's
when it's above your head, isn't it?
And you've got no big bits of... Part of me thinks, oh, don't do it. But then the other part thinks, well, you want to do it, this is your dream, like midlife crisis, really, kind of thing.
I'm very much looking forward to getting the boat in the water and doing the sailing side of it. Within the next few weeks, I probably will set a date and think, right, that's it. I'm going to, no matter what, put the hours in and get it in the water by then. Second week in August at the latest.
It's been really quite stressful, constantly, always having to get up, think about what you're going to do that day, how you're going to build it. You can't have a break from it. I think that's been quite hard on him.
And at points throughout it, to be honest, he went quite low. It would be, he couldn't see the end. And I think it was quite challenging for him. And at points, it definitely got too much for him.
Oh, 100% there's something driving me. I've always wanted some sort of adventure, and it will be an adventure, and I just want to see whether I can do it. And there has been times where I felt like, no, this is too much. 100% I felt like that a lot of times. I've committed so much time and effort, the only way is to push on and get there. So this is the keel, finally arrived. When the boat was upside down, I've had it up on top of the boat to make sure all of the fixing holes line up and it sits nicely on the underside of the hull. So I needed 140 kilograms of lead, which was going to end up being quite expensive if I had to buy it all. So I just started asking around. People donated lead. So yeah, really pleased with that. Saved quite a bit of money with that, fortunately. Keen to get it finished off. There's still quite a lot to do, mind. Sort of come down of an evening and think, oh, I'll get that done, and spend hours doing one silly little bit. I need a cup of tea. I've not had a cup of tea yet this morning. I'm going to put the kettle on. What should I do next? Yeah, I'm just fitting the supports, the stanchions for the guardrails at the moment. Just lining them all up, drilling the fixing holes. This and the keel was delayed with customs, I believe, for months and months. I was hoping to have got it, I was hoping to have got it back in probably April, May time. The orange is part of the class rules. You have to have certain parts of the boat, this bit and the pod there, painted in a high-vis colour, either high-vis yellow or orange. Yeah, so people can find you easy. But there wasn't many people that sold high-vis paint. No, it is coming together. It's nice to see it looking like a boat and looking like it's nearly ready to be launched. Did have to be in Portugal for the end of October. Now it's like the 5th of November. Might still be out sailing Christmas Day. Might be on the Jack Jones.
Well, what would you have for dinner?
Sorry, what will I have for dinner? Same as every other day.
Pot noodles.
So take a Christmas pot noodle.
That's what I was thinking. You get a turkey one.
A turkey one. We're with Hamble School of Yachting doing my sea survival course today, which is all about how to survive and how to use a life raft. First time I was sitting in the life raft, first thing that springs to mind straight away for everyone, I'm sure, is I never want to be in one of these. We were in a swimming pool in daylight, in nice conditions. But yeah, you certainly would never want to have to get in one in anger. Yeah, they're not nice places to be. It's not comfortable, it's not enjoyable, and the thought of spending 24 hours in one or 4 hours in one isn't a nice thought. And it was physically a lot harder than I thought, and like I say, that's just trying to do it in a swimming pool. I wasn't thinking, maybe I shouldn't be doing this because if I have to end up in a life raft, I guess the chances of that happening are hopefully pretty remote. I guess the plus side is there's not a lot of room in those life rafts, so at least I'll have a bit more room. Looking back now, the survival course was, it didn't really worry me too much. The first aid course that I just done, I found that a lot worse. They're teaching you stuff that you would have to do on yourself because there's no one else to do it for you. So, for example, things like how to practice suturing, so how to stitch yourself up if you cut yourself. They were far more worrying things to me, because I can think, yeah, you could easily slip and cut yourself, or you could easily knock your head, or you could just become unwell. So to me, that was much more of a realistic potential that could go wrong. It's when we finished suturing, she then goes, yeah, but you wouldn't do that on yourself, would you? She goes, you need one of these. And she pulled out a staple gun. She goes, we're now going to play with this. You just staple yourself up.
I've never seen him so animated about something. He really, really wants to do it. And he stands a good chance of, at least coming home alive. Hopefully not in a life raft, but...
My sister done all the anti-fouling for me, which was really nice of her. Since then I've just been cracking on, finishing off all the never-ending list of jobs that there are to do. When I first started building the boat, I thought I'd build the boat and sort of see what happens. I wasn't 100% sure I was going to go ahead with it, although that was always the aim.
At points, he actually, in his own mind, he was going to put it off. Do I do it? Don't I do it? He wasn't ready in his own mind. The boat wasn't quite ready. I hadn't realised that he'd actually thought about postponing it.
Many times I felt like, oh, I'm just going to give up, this is too much. I don't need all this pressure sort of thing, and I'm up against it a bit budget-wise at the moment. That's the tough situation I'm in at the moment. Yeah, well, I probably need about 5,000, I would imagine. So, yeah, I'll get there slowly, you know. It's just, it's not nice that it's all, you know, not everything's gone, but you know, it's always nice to have a bit in reserve, isn't it? That's had a big impact on family life, because I've been having to spend so much time here building this. So, yeah, it's affected both Isabel and Carly. And it's far from ideal. Some days I said to Carly, I want our old life back, sort of thing. I want to be going out on nice days, taking the dog for a walk, going to the pub, doing all the things that we should be doing, enjoyable things we should be doing together. I don't want to be spending every spare minute of the day stuck building the boat. I really don't. As that finish date has got closer and closer, and I've realised that unless I put in a lot of hours, I'm never going to be ready. It's just consumed my life, really. But the start is within sight now, definitely. Only a few weeks away. Sorry? I think I'm doing it no matter what now, you know. Just have to borrow some money and deal with that in the future. So I've come too far to give up now. Is it October the 7th, 8th, something like that today? I'm really pleased where I got to. I sometimes sort of take a step back and look back and think, blimey, can't believe I've managed to build that from scratch, sort of thing. So yeah, no, really pleased to be where I am. I decided to name her Meraki, which is a Greek name, labour of love, or something that you put your soul into. It seemed to ring true with everything I've been doing. So, because it certainly has become a labour of love. Really, really pleased to be finally finished, and finally get her in the water and do a little bit of sailing, which is what it's all about. It's the whole reason I've started building. Big day today. The boat's getting launched in the water for the first time. Could have done with some nicer weather. It's far from ideal, but yeah, really excited and nervous at the same time. So. Well, this weather's absolutely horrible, isn't it? Oh, I should have put my waterproof bottoms on, shouldn't I? I knew that.
He did help with the miracle quite a bit. He was only what? How old were you in 82?
Yeah, 7 I'd have been, yeah. Sad.
So there's a limit to what you could do at 7 years old. Wow.
I'm just going to have a quick chat with them about the logistics and see where we go from there.
And then are you taking it away, or do you want us to?
No, because I've only got a really small electric outboard and I've not manoeuvred her before, so in this wind I'm not really comfortable. Fingers crossed everything's going to go well. I almost don't want to watch. Unbelievable really, after like 19 months of building. it's good to get to this stage and see her in the water. Let's just hope everything goes to plan and everything's good. Just making sure that everything's okay on the boat. Obviously got no leaks and things like that. I probably would have taken her off of the quay myself with the outboard, but in these conditions I've asked the guys here to tow her out to a mooring. That feels really good. Feels really good. Feels fantastic to be out on the water at last. Feels good, you know, all that hard work, all those hours and hours and hours of hard work, it feels rewarding. Sometimes I do think, blimey, I can't believe I'm here about to do this. Sail across the Atlantic single-handed. It almost doesn't feel real sometimes because I sort of had the dream of that's what I wanted to do, and buying the kit and starting building the boat was just the start of it. But certainly the last few days or the last week, everything has been very real. First sail today, all went really well. Could have done with a bit more wind, but the sun's out, everything worked, so all looking good. Although I've built a boat, I am still an ordinary guy. I never really had any doubts that I wouldn't be able to build the boat, but now the boat is pretty much finished. It's more the event that I'm thinking, how am I going to get on with that side of it, you know? The lack of sleep, the being on your own for 30 days, not talking to anyone. I've never done a sailing event, anything like this before, so some days I feel way more nervous than other days, definitely. Started the build 19 months ago, and the boat is 95% finished. There's a few little jobs left to do, and I'm now at the stage of just trying to sort out all the logistics, all the kit that I need to take with me. A satellite phone, one of 2 handheld VHF radios that I need. First aid kit, it's here somewhere. It's one of the 2 backup GPSs that I need. A little eBay purchase. This is my immersion suit. Tiller pilot that I've not tried or tested or installed yet. I've got to take 120 litres of water. Sun cream, I've still got to sort out sun cream. 100 metres of line to attach my sea anchor to. It's the start of my grab bag. All sorts of stuff in here. Flares, they go in there. Food, that hasn't turned up yet. There's specific high-calorie food that you have to take, which I ordered a week ago. Hasn't turned up as yet. And it's probably, you know, I'm going tomorrow, so I haven't even thought about like what I'm going to wear, clothes. I haven't even really thought about food apart from main meals that I've got ready. There's enough main meals for 36 days. I'm hoping I'm not going to use 6 of them on the qualifier. I'm going to make sandwiches and stuff, which means I don't have to cook anything, and it saves a few of those. I'd rather take more than 30 on the actual crossing. I could easily just eat a tin of corned beef, put it in a wrap or something. I haven't even thought about like a knife, a fork, a plate, a drinks bottle to make a cup of tea, and I haven't thought about any of those things yet. This is going to be my bunk. I splashed out and bought myself some foam a couple of days ago. I haven't had the time or the money really to have any upholstery done on the boat, but I thought I'll at least sleep on a bit of foam. I can lie down here, stretch my legs out. But as you can see, I need to have a good tidy up and get the boat packed up, ready to go really. It's quite cosy. I haven't packed anything yet in any of the lockers or anything, but I will make a start on that soon. And that's that. Here we are at Portsmouth Ferry Terminal, waiting to get the ferry to St Malo. We are the last of the ferry.
My big involvement ended up being to actually drive the boat with Keith down to Lagos. This big storm came in, and the wind was just unbelievable. And at points the boat was actually quite worrying because you could actually see it moving. We kept joking, it's going to do its first capsize before we even get to water.
And I generally thought the van and the boat were going to tip over. It was that bad. Just acrossed the border into Portugal, 384 kilometres to go, so hopefully that'll take us about 3 hours. The weather's a bit nicer now. Right, well, 14 kilometres to Lagos. Finally, very nearly there. And look at that beautiful sky.
We drove for about 36 hours in total, and we got down to Lagos ready to launch the boat.
Right, it's launch time.
As part of the race rules, you have to do a qualifier before you do the trip across the Atlantic, just to make sure that you're up to it, the boat's up to it, and certainly for me, having never done anything like this before, it'll be key. So it'll be the longest crossing I've ever done. Like 600 miles is still a significant way. To see how I cope, how I get on, how the boat behaves, and I might decide that it's not for me. I might get to Canaries and think, well, enough's enough, you know. We leave tomorrow lunchtime, I think. And as you can see, I'll just give a little show around. There's still, well, nearly ready, just sorting out my bed. Dave's out there making up a bracket for the tiller extension. Hopefully we'll be ready to go by tomorrow morning. So this is it. Start of our first leg to Lanzarote. A little bit misty now, gentle breeze. See how we go. Sometimes I wake up and I just feel nervous. What am I doing? This isn't for me. I'm not those people that can sail across the Atlantic single-handed or do these sort of events. But then I think, well, what makes them different to anyone else, you know? There's a part of me in my mind that thinks, I think I can do this. And other times I think, no, I'm going to struggle. I might not be able to do it at all. We got out to the start line. It's very frustrating. I've often thought what it would be like. There's absolutely no wind. Lifted our engines and we're just going nowhere. Oh, it's 3 hours since the start and wind's picked up a bit and we're moving along lovely.
It's going to be difficult. He's going to be away for a long time, won't have any contact. So it will be strange, it will be weird, because even he works away a lot, but I still talk to him all the time. Yeah, it's going to be a bit crazy, I think.
It's been a bit of a tough day weather-wise. It's been literally a couple of knots of wind and that's it. I've probably averaged about 1.5 knots all day. It's been hard work trying to keep the boat moving. The sea state during the qualifier had a bit of a mixture really. For a couple of days it was fairly calm. Really slow night last night, the wind died. Looking like it's going to be a slow passage. Only done just over 200 miles since leaving on, when was it? Saturday lunchtime. And still got around about 350, a bit more than that to go. I definitely for at least 12 hours had it where to me it felt like it was quite a reasonable sea, but also just quite uncomfortable. It was waves coming in at sort of slightly different angles, and the waves would just pick the stern of the boat up and sort of turn you around. Got a little rough out there. It's still a bit tricky to control. Got the tiller pilot on, hoping it doesn't pick up anymore. I should have had a kip earlier because I'm absolutely knackered. Let's hope it calms down a bit for the rest of the night. I wasn't sleeping a huge amount. I was finding it hard to sleep. The lack of sleep was tough. I didn't realise quite how bad it was. And I remember going down below to, I went to make a cup of tea or whatever I was doing. I then called up I thought there was someone helming the boat for me. I called up and said, do you want a cup of tea as well? And I thought, what the hell am I doing? So I'm talking to someone who I think's here and there's no one here. I felt terrible last night and I didn't come up on deck. I spent all night down below. Got a reasonable amount of sleep and feel a lot better this morning. And I didn't realise quite how exhausted I was. I've had one pod of dolphins of about 30 that stayed with me for probably well over an hour, which was fantastic. That's the first time I've really seen anything like that. Dolphins everywhere, but no wind. No freaking wind. Never going to get to Lanzarote. This is ridiculous. Very frustrating. Right, it just took me, I don't know, probably 45 minutes to do, but I've just done a sail change and put this one up, hoping it will give me a bit more speed. Looks nice, but made no difference to the speed. That's Lanzarote in the distance that the sun is just setting over. So I eventually got a bit closer over to Lanzarote and picked up phone signal. I saw that pretty much everyone else was just finishing and they'd all taken a slightly different route to me on the last part in, and it would appear they knew that there was no wind where I was heading. Going along nice at the moment, probably doing about 5 knots and heading in the right direction. So yeah, it'll be dark in half an hour. 1 o'clock in the morning on, oh, I don't even know what day it is now. What day was I hoping to get in? Friday? Is it Friday? Yeah, so it must be Saturday now, I think. I don't know. Basically, we sailed to within about 3 miles of the marina, and an hour or so ago the wind just totally dropped. Never known anything like it. If that sail would stop flapping, it is just dead calm, dead still. It's spooky. Can't hear a thing. It's bizarre. I just sat there drifting for probably 3 or 4 hours, maybe more. Then a slight breeze started to pick up and I just managed to slowly make my way in.
There he is! Woo! Well done!
5th arrival of the qualifier of the 580 on his beautiful Meraki.
I was happy with how the qualifier went, and I knew that when I finished the qualifier I'd either feel like I was ready to carry on or that I would need to pull out and just say it's not for me. For me it's very daunting because, you know, 6 days on a qualifier, you think you can easily get through that. Once you start heading across the Atlantic, then that's it really. The only option is carrying on. I am nervous about it, but I think it only feels right to be nervous about it, having never done it before.
The journey Keith's had over the last sort of 19 months has been amazing. At times, I think it's nearly broken him physically, mentally. He said to me a few times, this boat's just done me in. I ache like I've never ached before. Yeah, huge journey for him, but very, very inspiring. I don't know how he's done it.
I was in a real panic when I left home. I just literally threw stuff in 2 bags thinking I'd better have it with me. But at least I can have a fresh t-shirt every 2 or 3 days. It's just pants left now.
Yeah, we don't want to see your pants.
This is my bed. Feet down here. This is my jet boil, but it'll literally spin in a circle like that if I don't hold it.
But at least it's a quick boil.
What else have I got? I don't even know. I haven't even got like an itinerary of my food. But
Should you not have a rough idea?
oh, there you go. I got some latest spread, Jimmy's jams, corned beef. I'll have that in a wrap. I was going to buy normal peanuts, but I thought it gives you something to eat, doesn't it?
The challenge my dad is taking on is being on your own for that amount of time and sort of facing the weather, whatever the weather will throw at you. The unknown of what could happen out there, whatever, you have to be ready to face whatever Mother Nature can throw your way. That's quite a brave thing to take on. I do find what my dad's doing very inspiring. I think that if he wants to do it, he should do it, because he's never going to get a chance again to do it. And I don't want him to have looked back and thought, I really should have done that, because you can't live your life that way.
It all came out so quickly. We were in Lanzarote for a week, and before I knew it, it was the evening before departure. And it really sort of hit home then. Tomorrow morning I'm getting in the boat and going off for 30 odd days, however long it was going to take.
All four of you are great sailors. Keith, because as an underdog...
I always knew I was going to be sort of the underdog. I'd literally sailed the boat for an hour in Chichester Harbour in no wind, and finished by far the last in the qualifying leg. So can't go wrong being the underdog, can you? Start of the race day, it's Saturday. I never really gave much thought to how I would feel today. I've just been so busy up to now, sort of trying to get the boat finished and get here. I just, didn't give it any thought. I feel as ready as I can be. But yeah, it's going to be a tough day, I think. Part of me felt, I can't believe I'm here. I watched the guys do the first race 2 years ago and thought I'd really like to be able to do that. And yeah, I was certainly thinking, I can't believe I'm actually here about to do this myself.
Let's get to the other end.
At the start of the event, when we're like on the pontoon getting ready to leave, a bit of a buzz and quite a few people there.
Isabel, how do you feel today?
I'm quite nervous, but I think he can do it, and yeah, I hope he doesn't put too much pressure on himself to, come in too close to the others, because he's not as experienced as the others, but he just wants to complete it, and I just hope that he can do that.
I think it was really important that he did go ahead with it today. He did have doubts, but equally he felt he'd got this far, that he should do it, but he did struggle at times with that decision greatly, I think.
I wasn't really thinking too much about what lay ahead of me. Finally ready to get going.
I'm going to miss my dad a lot, especially at Christmas time.
1 minute, go 580, 1 minute, 1 minute. Go 580 transet, go 580 transet. Good luck everyone, enjoy the ride, have a beautiful sail, I'll see you in Antigua. Cheers.
It wasn't until really probably the first night alone at sea, or the second day, that it started to sink in of how long I would be out there on my own. The day we started, we had quite nice wind, made good progress, and it wasn't long before Lanzarote was out of sight, then heading down the side of Gran Canaria. All is good, and we're making reasonable progress in the right direction. We're sort of heading towards the top of the Cape Verde Islands, which is about 800 miles away. Should hopefully average about 100 miles a day if the wind stays good. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. We had good wind for the first couple of days, and then it's been a really frustrating day. The wind pretty much died this morning, and there's barely enough wind to fill the sails. I think I had about 3 days of very, very light wind. I found that really difficult because I started to think then, there's no way I'm going to be in Antigua by Christmas, which got to me a bit. All the time the boat's moving, it's quite easy to focus on sailing, but with no wind, it's easy for your mind to wander. I've only been gone just over 24 hours, and for the last few hours I just can't stop thinking about the people I've left behind. Monday morning, and it is breakfast time. I'm hand steering, so I've got a little bit too much sail up. I eventually picked up some breeze and started to make quite good progress for probably the next week, I'd say. if it stays like this, all should be good. I then started to think, if I can do like 110 miles a day, I can make it to Antigua by Christmas. This is it, this is what I sort of dreamed about, this is how I thought it would be. Those moments were really nice to just sort of soak it all in and think, yeah, this is how I hoped it would be. I went for over 2 weeks without seeing a single other ship, which I just found incredible. It was amazing to think that, I don't know how many million people are on the planet, you just feel like you're so alone and that there's nothing close to you for a long way. The only thing I'm not sure about is I don't know where any of the others are. I couldn't see them on AIS last night. I tried calling on the VHF this morning, so I'm assuming I'm out of range of all of them, which either means that I've made a bad decision on my route, so they either know something I don't, and they've decided to head, I guess it can only really be further west. And yeah, that sort of bugs me a bit. I don't know if I'm going the best route or not. If the wind stays like this, it should be fine. I don't want to end up in a wind pocket again with no wind for sort of 24 hours. Making good progress, probably doing about 5 knots, maybe a bit more when we surf down a wave. So just hand steering for a bit because yeah, I feel like I've got some miles to catch up on. Had a good morning, making the most of this nice wind that we've now got. I'm going to open my advent calendar that I've got here that my sister kindly got me. When I first got it, I hoped that as well as a countdown to Christmas, it would pretty much be a countdown to my arrival in Antigua. But after losing, I think I probably lost 3, if not a bit more, days to the weather, and so yeah, it probably means I'll be at sea on my own Christmas Day, which is going to be a bit tough because I yeah, would have liked to have spoken to the family, but anyway, let's see how it goes. I'm just going to push hard for the next 3 or 4 days, see how many miles I can get in each day. I had good breeze. I was doing 110, 120 miles some days. I thought, still got a long way to go, but I can do this every day for the next 20 odd days, however long it's going to take. So I've probably done that for about, I think it's about 5 or 6 days. I had reasonable windfall. And then after that, the wind just started going. I then found it really, really tough for a while. Some days only doing sort of 20, 30 miles in very, very light wind conditions. How frustrating. And the wind has just died yet again on me completely. With such a long way to go, it's just so frustrating. It's too hot to sit outside. Well, it's hot in here, but at least you're at the sun. You probably won't be able to appreciate it on camera, but the noise is just horrendous and the thud just goes right through the boat. I don't know how long it's going to be like this for. Who knows? But yeah, it's really, it really gets you down. Blimey, it's starting to get to me now. It really is. Just want to get moving. All I want to do is just get moving in the right direction. See that? See those fish following the boat? Not that they're having to swim very fast. I don't think we're actually moving. And we're now back to the familiar sound of the sails flapping in the swell. Just try and pass the hours. And the hours tick into days. So yeah, still got about 240 miles to go. And still absolutely no wind. Not a puff. The sun's just starting to go down now, and the nights are quite long. It's dark for a good 12 hours or so. So I thought I'd better try and do something a bit productive. So I thought I'd go through my meals and see what I've got left. We've got 4 different flavours. We've got chili con carne, spicy pork, chicken curry, and this one, beef stew with pearl barley, which I thought would be my least favourite, actually turns out is my favourite one. I've got eight tins of corned beef, which I'm going to have for lunch. So I'm going to save the corned beef for the last 20 days or so. I think it'll be chili con carne tonight. Oh no, I said spicy pork, didn't I? Spicy pork tonight.
Not a ripple on the sea.
When there's no breeze, it's really hot. Just sat there all day, either in the cockpit or even down below in the boat. You're just sweating and wanting to drink a lot. Yeah, I found that really tough. I then started to think, I don't even know when I might arrive. Feels like we've been dealt a bad card. Well, there's not much else to do when there's no wind, is there? So I might as well go for a quick swim, I think. We won't get another opportunity. I'm so glad I did swim in the end, but yeah, it was such a weird feeling to think I'm in the middle of the ocean, nothing around for miles. It's so deep, and my little homemade boat's bobbing around there, and it's just me. It's mad. Wind now, please. I've finally got a little bit of breeze. It's enough to get a sail in, that's the good thing. When I then started doing reasonable miles each day, I did decide to myself, I thought, I'm only ever going to do this once. I might as well just try and do a reasonable time, you know? So that's what I decided to do. I was spending a lot of time hand steering the boat, because that's the only real way you can get it to go faster. I was often doing sort of 12, 14 hours a day steering the boat, trying to get some miles in. This is my lunch for today. It might not actually look very appetising, but it's quite nice. It's got corned beef wrap. There's some little gherkin pickled things there. I really got fed up with food, and I spent a lot of time thinking about what I'd like to eat. I used to dream of like roast chicken or just eating some meat rather than just freeze-dried food. Flying fish could be breakfast. They're quite good to eat apparently. Just chuck it in the old jet boil and give it a go. But no, I don't think I'll be trying that. Yeah, conditions are good today. Got a nice steady breeze from the south still, about 15 knots. So yeah, all's good today. I'd say, look, reasonable breeze, and we're making good progress. Yeah, it's a windy day, that's for sure, and choppy. There's a big sea running. There's some big waves, and they're all over the place. Went and done my position report, and in the last 24 hours we've done 125 miles, which is really good. So I'll be happy with that. It's a good morning. The conditions are fantastic this morning. We've got some nice breeze. So yeah, we're doing well, making good progress, it feels like this morning. Just about managed to do 109 miles in the last 24 hours. And these dolphins, along with a little bit of wind, have certainly put a smile on my face. It's a southerly wind again, which is very strange. Last time we had a southerly wind, we then had a strong wind warning issue due to a area of low pressure to the north of us. But for now, all is good. We've got wind and dolphins. We're into the afternoon now, it's nearly 3 o'clock. The wind's just kept on getting up and up and up, and so have the waves. Yeah, the waves are pretty big. See whether it calms down a bit this evening. It's midnight pretty much. It is wild outside. It's got to be blowing 35 knots at least out there. Looks like it might be a long night. I don't get any sleep, so I'm just sat on the cockpit floor at the moment.
Right, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning.
I've never been that close to thunder and lightning. It felt like it was like on top of me. It was that close. The lightning was so bright, and you could just hear the wind howling through the rigging. And I found that really scary. I generally didn't know what would have happened if the boat had been struck by lightning.
Feels like it might be starting to calm down a little bit.
Waves were quite big. I was surfing down the waves. I was getting up to like I was getting up to like 10, 12 knots. Then I had a wave just coming at a slightly different angle, and as I started accelerating down the wave, it just rolled the boat. And yeah, before you know it, he's just on your side. The cockpit's full of water. That wasn't particularly nice.
Probably put this down, and I might need to hold on at any minute. Right, well, it's 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening, and yeah, things have calmed down. I ache all over, and I'm tired. I don't think I slept at all last night, and I ache from holding on and bracing myself all morning while I was helming. This is much nicer than last night and this morning, that's for sure. Everything is good, making good progress. I'm heading due west, which is spot on, exactly where I want to be heading for Antigua. Beautiful. We got our weekly position updates from the race director, and yeah, surprisingly, it looks like I'm in 3rd place. Pleased with that. Certainly didn't expect that.
The race rules stipulate that you have to take 110 litres of water with you, plus an additional 9 litres of emergency water that's in a sealed container. And if you use any of that, then you get a time penalty. So when I was about halfway, I had way more than half my water left. So I sort of treated myself to a bit of a freshwater shower. Felt lovely for it. But then about a week or so after that, I did start to get a little concerned about water.
I'm not having evening meals every evening because that uses up the best part of half a litre of water, and I'd rather just have that to drink than have something to eat. I can't be out here too much longer, that's for sure. That's how much water I've got left.
The fact that I knew I was going to be 3rd, I thought I don't want a time penalty, so I'm not touching the emergency 9 litres. I finished with about somewhere between 1 and 2 litres of water left.
Well, happy Christmas. It's Christmas Day. Well, that's not very festive on board Meraki. It's tough. It's really tough. It's not enough now. Just want to get to the finish. Well, I eventually decided to get out of bed, treated myself to a new t-shirt and new boxers. Yeah, I've never felt miserable on Christmas Day before. It is a horrible feeling. It's just fucking ridiculous. Oh dear. Friday the 29th of December. Made really good progress overnight. We got less than 100 miles to go, which is an amazing feeling. Well, I'm desperate to get across that finish line tomorrow, and I really am. It's going to be strange in a way. This little 19-foot boat has, and this ocean has been my world for the last 35 days and nights. It's all I've seen, all I've known. It's definitely long enough, 35 days and nights, to spend on a little 19-foot boat. But yeah, it'll take a little bit of getting used to.
4 a.m. local time on Saturday, and I am 10 miles away. So yeah, feels really strange. I can't believe after 5 weeks it'll be. 5 weeks today I left. Can't believe I'm going to cross the Atlantic in a 19-foot boat I built in the back garden. Strange. I don't know how I feel. Whew. It's yeah, certainly emotional.
Wow, land home. That is Antigua. Got about 2 miles to go, and it's just getting light. It's incredible. After 35 days at sea, I can't believe I'm nearly there.
After all those days of seeing nothing at all, just the horizon, that was a hell of a feeling to see Antigua there in the sunrise just as it's starting to get light. It's funny because it's all I had dreamed about and thought about for the last week or so was getting into Antigua. Speaking to Carly and Isabel, it was such a weird feeling because part of me almost didn't want it to end because I'd been in my own little world, my own little bubble sort of thing for so long. I was almost like nervous about getting back to civilization and meeting people, even though it's what I'd craved for and was desperate for it. But yeah, it was such a nice feeling to see the boat come out in the morning to wave me across the finish line and see my sister there. It was incredible, it really was.
Certainly the underdog of the race. Hey Keith! Yeah. Woo! Well done! Amazing. Oh yeah, right, there you go. Way! Well done! Third place!
Finally made it. What a feeling.
Amazing!
When I decided to do this, or hoped that I would do it 2 years ago, you know, no experience at all of doing anything like this, hardly any solo sailing, and I'm just a weekend sailor. So I was amazed that I came third and finished so close behind everyone else, really. And yeah, I was amazed to come third.
Here at last. It was a long way. Hey! Wow, so good to be here.
Yeah.
It really is. Can't believe it. So nice to get off the boat and be able to walk around. I've been away from home way too long. And yeah. Oh, start again. Yeah, I've been away from home way too long. Got a flight booked tomorrow and cannot wait to get home and see the family. This is it.
On the sloop John B, my grandpappy and me, over the 7 seas we did roam, drinking all night. Got into a fight. Well, I feel so broke up. Oh yeah. I wanna go. So hoist up the John B. See how the mainsail sails. Before the captain ashore, let me go home. I wanna go home. Let me go home.
I want to go home. I want to go home. A lot of people have asked me what I'm going to do next, and
Hoist up the John B. See how the mainsail sails. Before the captain ashore, let me go home. I wanna go home. Let me go home. And I wanna go home. Well, I feel so broke up. Oh yeah. I wanna go home.